Welcome back guys, today we're going to look at the One Tigris Rocuboid wood burning stove. Hello, welcome back to another video. Like I said, today we're going to look at this One Tigris wood stove. It's called a Rocuboid. They have two models. This one is their Evil Eyes version, so you'll see why. You'll also want to stay tuned to the end of the video as well. Just a little heads up. So it comes in this little case here. I think it's like polyester or nylon or something. Velcro's open. And all your bits are inside. So this is pretty standard wood stove. So put it together. Two sides back. So we shall put the two sides on the back first. That's generally how these things go. We will then put in our ash pan. I'm doing this from the back, so it's a little fiddly for me. And we'll now put in the griddle plate. There we go. And the front here, which an advantage over some is that both sides are downward facing. Some are different on both sides, so it makes it a little easier to put together. Unless you're behind the thing. Right, I'll give you a better view. Right, so apologies if there's a bit of smoke, there's a fire lit next to me. I can't tend to it at the moment. So here's the stove itself. You can now see why it's called Evil Eyes. Pretty obvious. It's got his evil face on the front. Now, One Tigris did their Rocuboid, the first one before this. It's a tiny bit smaller. This one is 7 inches by 5 inches. I think the other one's about an inch smaller. To be honest, I wasn't too keen on the looks of the other one. It had a small feed hole and it was a smaller stove. It's stainless steel, and that's 511 grams, which is 18 ounces. Hang on, let me tend to this fire for a second. Okay, and it being stainless steel and slot together rather than hinged means it's a lot more inexpensive than sort of folding bush boxes, fireboxes. So that's its advantage. Probably great for a beginner one. So far, just from a look at it and seeing it in videos and stuff, I'm going to say I prefer it to a lot of them Lixada ones, that sort of thing. The ones that sort of slope inwards. It's got a lot more room in here. I'm going to compare it with a bush box for size. So if you're familiar with a bush box, this is the LF one, not the XL. See, this one's a folding titanium one, but costs a bit more. And as you can see, this is closer in size to their XL version than the normal LF version there. It's good to have some size in these things because it allows you to pack in more wood, get more heat, and eventually get more coals to cook on, which is a lot better than cooking on flame. This is more of a beginner one or budget one, however you want to look at it. Now you've got different slots in the top here, and you've got your pot lids here, which I've got nice and muddy. So you've got different ways of setting them up. Such as. Another good thing about this is if you look on the sides and the back, you've got an extra high slot, and that's for using a trangia burner. So I'm just going to set it up that way and show you that. Okay, so here we are, exactly the same setup except one of your trays at the bottom and one of them in them top slots. So I've got my trangia here. Just put some fuel in there. Put on the rests. that's lit. Now you're going to see that's going to bring that burner up to an ideal height, and then you can easily get a brew on. I've got a few bits of leftover firewood and other branches and stuff about, so what I'm going to do is just put that in there so I can see where the top is, what will fit, before I cut them down. Obviously you can feed through the front, but to load it up in the first place I'm going to see how tall I can get away with, so I'm going to go just a couple of centimetres, an inch or so under that. Okay, today I'm just going to use a match and a fire starter. That's going to give me a long enough burn just to add these in. Well, that didn't take too long to get going at all. Some nice dry wood in there, and that's flaming up very well. Now this is the first burn. Like with anything made of metal, it's going to discolour, and it will likely warp a little bit, but that's no biggie. When you clip them into place, they hold their shape basically. Unless they warp immensely, then that's a bad thing, but we'll see. Okay, let's put these trivets back on. Gloves would probably help. You've got a couple of slots there, just in case you've got a smaller pot or cup. There we go. With that going nicely, let's put the pan on. If your pot rests are too low, you can suffocate, but we've got good air holes on the side there, so I don't see that being an issue. It would be rude not to use bacon. Good heat on there, that's because I'm still on flame. I didn't wait for coals to cook on. But I can manage that by just lifting off. Seems to be quite a nice even heat. Okay. Now you can see it's quite a good bed of coals in there. Probably would have been a better time to start cooking, but I haven't got the time today. Just going to let this burn down, eat my bacon and egg, and we'll have a look at it. Don't put water on a wood stove to cool it down, you'll definitely warp it that way. So I'll let that cool down on its own, and then we'll check the warpage and that special little bit. Well, this is definitely cool now, cool to the touch. So if I take all the bits out, ooh, which way is that? A little bit sooty. Front bit is straight as a die. one of the sides has an ever so slight warp, but yeah, it's held up really well. The fire griddle plate, whatever you want to call it, it's got a slight bow to it, but it's not going to affect use at all. Look at that, it packs down flat as it was. Well, that's the Rocuboid wood stove. Pretty impressed actually. I use the bush box usually, which is hinged, and titanium for lightweightness. My first one was one of them Lixada ones. It was too small and I hated it. This would have been much better than that for sure, and for the price, very good. Yeah, good product. If you want your first one or you're on a budget, definitely have a look at these. Now for that other bit I wanted to talk about. When One Tigris asked me if I wanted to do a review of one of these, they actually offered a couple of extras. Took them, wanted to see what it's like first, but it's a good stove for the money, definitely. So I've got 3 here to give away. As you can see, new unopened. All you have to do is put "I'm in" down in the comments, and I'll use a random comment picker, and I'll do a very short video in maybe about a week's time. After most people have seen the video. I won't put this in the title or anything. I want this to be just for you guys. Maybe I'll put it on the community page. Saw Simon do that recently. It's a good idea, only subs will see it then. And I want you guys to get these. So yeah, 3 to be won, 1 per person obviously. I'm in the comments. Thank you very much to all you guys for watching as per usual, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye for now.